Hi, and welcome to CyberOne Training and Certification. If you're interested in learning more about our certification program and how you can become qualified as a CyberOne expert, reach out to your account manager if you're a client, or contact us at support@cb1security.com. Okay, let's get to our training. So today we're going to be looking at the obligations library, and we're going to show you how you can build out an obligation using a .csv upload. So the first thing we're going to do is get into our application platform. Okay, so here we are in the platform, and again we're in the obligations tab. You can be in any module for this. We're really just focused on the obligations tab. So if you don't see this in the module that you're in, you can go to policy management or just click the plus sign and search for it by the alphabetical list menu. And then what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be adding a new obligation to this platform. So I have actually done a little bit of advanced preparation, so I'll just walk you through that very, very quickly. So the first thing we want to do is actually click that new obligation and then name and add the obligation that we want to bring in. And so I've done that, and today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding CIS. And as you can see right now, this record, although it's in the system, is blank. And if we go back to another record and open that, of course, now you can see what a full record looks like. So we're looking at CSF here, and what we want to build out in our CIS obligation record is the same thing, our obligation sections, and then within those sections our controls. So it is a three-step process. Step one being that we want to create that record in CyberOne, and then once we've done that, the next thing that we want to do is to grab our controls, and the way we do that is using a CSV template. And I'm going to open this one for you here, and we're going to start by adding our obligation sections. So here you see our different fields, and if we go back to our obligation sections for a moment, you'll see that those fields match what's available here. And so when I go back to that Excel file, you'll see that now I'm able to do a very simple upload because I have the fields mapped to the actual fields in the platform. So then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close out of that and save it for now. And then I'm going to go to my data loader, which I've already opened and logged into. And again, to log into the data loader, you just want to go to that front page and grab your demo environment and then log in using the custom demo. And then we're going to go to new task, import. And now we're going to start by importing our obligation section. So we're just going to go to obligation. We're going to select obligation section. And we can go next. And this is where we're going to grab our CSV. So I'm going to grab that back now and just drop that in here. And here you can see I have an opportunity now to just verify the fields. And here's why we need to make sure we've already put the record in our platform, because how it's going to connect to the obligation is through that record that's already in the system. So I want to look for it by name. You can see the section name, section description, and content source are connected. And so now I can just save and run. And there, as that's working, what I can actually do is I can go to my obligation here. And you can already see that those sections now have been added. So you remember that a record was initially empty, and now they've already uploaded. The sections have already uploaded. Okay, so that's step one. But if we go into one of these sections, you'll see that there are still no controls actually mapped in here. So the next thing I want to do is map in those controls. So I'm going to go back to my data loader. The next thing then I will do is go to new task again and import. And this time I'm going to do control library. and add my control library. But of course I want to make sure that it is going to connect to my obligation sections and to my CIS obligation record. And so again, what I want to do is I'm just going to open my CSV here and make sure that I've got all of the correct fields. So I've got the section name here, and that's how I'm going to connect it into the section records, and the obligation name there just as a failsafe, content source, so on and so forth. Okay, so let's close out of that. And then I'm just going to grab it and drop it in again. And let's just look at these now. Because I'm actually going to use the name, I don't even need to match the obligation in this case. So I'm just going to have them connect via the obligation section. Because the obligation section is already connected to the obligation record, that will automatically populate the record as well as the obligation section. So I'm just going to select obligation section there. Again, we want to use that lookup to make sure it connects correctly. We have some options here. I'm going to do it by name because I have the name here. And then again, I'm just going to do a quick verification and then then press next, save and run. And there you have, if I go into my CIS control, which was empty initially, you should see now that we have 171 controls, as you can see here from the summary, that have been added. And if I go in there, they've been added by section as well. And I'd always also be able to see those in the control library. If I go to, I've already put this in as a view, and there you have all of my controls in CIS. So, and just as one final showing, then that populate that obligation record. Now you see I've got my 171 controls in. If I open the record, all of my sections are there, and we're done. So that concludes our training for today. Thank you very much.